Today on CPTV, Cal Poly students react to the second presidential debate.
UPD released a sketch of the suspect for the PCV parking structure attempted robbery.
And the push for the passing of Proposition 30 is intensifying as Election Day approaches.
Live from Studio 300 on Cal Poly's campus, I'm Ben Zucchelli.
And I'm Trent Murfeld. You're watching CPTV. The Cal Poly campus participated in the largest earthquake drill in history on Thursday. At 10:18 a.m., students in the University Union were told to drop, cover, and hold on. Students that are signed up for Poly alerts via text message received an alert about the drill. The Great Shakeout is an annual effort by the Earthquake Country Alliance to promote earthquake preparedness in California. It also encourages organizations to review their emergency plans. The next Great Shakeout is scheduled for October 17th, 2013 at 10:17 a.m.
With Election Day coming up, the presidential candidates met for the second debate of the campaign. CPTV reporter David Aguilar has more from this week's debate.
The presidential debate sponsored the third debate of this election cycle on Tuesday night. President Obama and Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney met at Hofstra University in New York. The debate was set as a town hall-style debate in which uncommitted voters got the chance to ask the questions. Obama came into the debate looking to bounce back after what many pundits called a poor performance in the first debate 2 weeks ago. Those watching the debate, including Cal Poly students, took notice of a more energized president.
I feel like Obama was stronger this time around. He was a little bit more aggressive.
And the Romney camp also took notice.
We saw Barack Obama come out swinging. He had promised he was going to be taking a new approach. There was going to be a new style, and there was.
The president and his opponent fielded questions about foreign and domestic policy. A key moment in the debate came when Romney accused the president of politicizing the death of Ambassador Chris Stevens, who was killed in an attack on the U.S. Embassy in Libya.
The day following the assassination of the United States ambassador, the first time that's happened since 1979, when we have 4 Americans killed there, when apparently we didn't know what happened. That the president, the day after that happened, flies to Las Vegas for political fundraiser.
President Obama did not sit still as he came back and rebutted his claims.
And the suggestion that anybody in my team, whether Secretary of State, our UN ambassador, anybody on my team would play politics or mislead when we've lost 4 of our own governor is offensive.
Romney also took shots at Obama's middle-class agenda.
Why am I lowering taxes on the middle class? Because under the last 4 years, they've been buried.
Without hesitation, the president criticized Romney's plan.
Governor Romney says he's got a 5-point plan. Governor Romney doesn't have a 5-point plan, he has a 1-point plan.
The moderator's active role in the debate was also appreciated by those who watched.
Also, I thought it was really nice to see Candy Crowley being aggressive and pushing back with fact-checking.
CNN's Candy Crowley moderated the debate and remained assertive throughout.
He got the first question is for you. He actually got the first question, so I get the last question, last answer on that one.
Actually, in the follow-up, it doesn't quite work like that.
CPTV, David Aguilar.
According to a poll conducted by CNN ORC International, 46% of those who watched the debate say President Obama won.
University police have released a sketch of the man believed to be the suspect of an attack on campus last month. On September 27th, around midnight, an unknown man with a knife confronted a Cal Poly visitor in the Poly Canyon parking structure. The suspect is described as 6 feet tall, with a thin build, sunken eyes, and in his mid-20s. Anyone with information on the incident is asked to contact University police.
Faculty and staff at Cal Poly are banned from mod gyms, lockers, and shower facilities. The facilities were used by the faculty and staff for about 40 years. Many faculty and staff are now being forced to pay a $48 membership fee to use shower facilities at the rec center. Professor Craig Arsenault says Cal Poly promotes a healthy lifestyle as a green campus. However, banning faculty from the facilities prevents them from being fit.
As well, when we advertise ourselves as a green campus. Our approach to being a green campus is to have energy efficient light bulbs, and part of being green, right, is focusing on health and lifestyles.
The ban of faculty and staff has forced professors to work out off campus and lose connections between colleagues who worked out together. For now, the rec center is the only option for the employees.
Many faculty members in the CSU system have been reported as supporting Proposition 30. But a competing ballot measure is drawing support from the California Teachers Association. Proposition 38 increases taxes for all income levels on a sliding scale. Revenues go to K through 12 schools and early childhood programs. If Prop 38 passes, it is expected to add about $10 billion annually to the education budget. Proposition 38 is competing with Proposition 30 and Proposition 32, which are all tax hikes for education. Proposition 30 also amends the California Constitution to include funding for public safety. However, if Prop 38 passes, then CSU students should expect tuition hikes.
38 passes and 30 doesn't pass, it's the same as Proposition 30 failing.
Okay.
If 38 gets more votes than 30, it's the same as Proposition 30 failing.
Several sources, including the President Pro Tem of the State Senate, the LA Times, and the Washington Post, have criticized the multiple propositions being on the ballot. They have stated that while Californians might support a tax increase for education, having 3 measures increases the likelihood of all of them failing.
Competing with Prop 38 is Governor Jerry Brown's Proposition 30. With the election in crunch time, Governor Brown and CSU officials are encouraging Californians to vote yes. CPTV reporter Ariel Plavnik tells us why. Prop 30 would increase funding up to education by increasing California's sales tax. Opponents say regardless of the proposition's goal, it is time to start making cuts. On the opposite spectrum, Cal Poly President Jeffrey Armstrong says that he sees the economic benefits of Proposition 30. Armstrong worries that the failure of Prop 30 would harm student success. Armstrong and Brown are trying to inform the community through media. Armstrong co-wrote a letter to the Tribune with other San Luis Obispo education leaders urging the passage proposition of the bill. Governor Brown sent out an email to Poly students today giving a similar message. No matter what happens, President Armstrong says Cal Poly will find a way to survive. If Prop 30 is not passed, President Armstrong says Cal Poly students will see a $100 a quarter tuition increase in January.
As the November 6th elections near, San Luis Obispo is active with political talk. Opinions form and lines are drawn. Yet, only 55% of county voters participated during the 2010 elections. CPTV reporter Brandon Jones looked at just how many students actually vote in the county.
Students have been less active in San Luis Obispo county politics in the past. But why? Recent survey statistics can give us an idea of how many students are actually making it out to the polls. Voter turnout is usually higher during presidential elections. In 2008, 26,000 more people cast ballots than in 2010. Indeed, voter participation was higher in every way. The year saw almost 4% more voter registration, though the population increased only 1% by 2010.
I live here 10 months out of the year, so the decisions that are made about our county, about who's in our local government, those are things that affect me on a daily basis.
Yet, these statistics don't show the numbers of students voting. Surveys conducted by the City of San Luis Obispo give a clearer picture on student participation in local matters. By August of 2012, only 92 students had filled out and returned a survey that was sent to every resident in the city. More people responded they live in the other category than student. Some students feel like they will not reap the benefit of civic participation in the short time they live in San Luis Obispo.
Because I don't know, I'm not that involved in SLO County. I just go to school and buy groceries and that's it.
Yet, it is clear that certain ordinances affect all residents regardless of status. Recent examples include the plastic bag ban and a group of noise ordinances.
And all of our ASI and student leaders are pushing for students to register to vote. They're not saying, oh, are you in favor of Prop 30, will you go vote? They're saying, register to vote. It's an important part of being a citizen to vote, to participate in government.
CPTV, Brandon Jones.
Both presidents note that while you don't need to agree with their policies, voting should be every student's priority.
The Vines to Wines Club has been suspended for not following ASI's rules. An October 8th email says ASI says efforts are being made to get the club up and running again. Stephen Lamb, Director of Student Life and Leadership, says the club has been put on hold because they are under investigation by administration and finance. Members of the club did not return our calls for comment on the matter. Other clubs, such as Scuba Club, and have also been put on hold because of the high-risk nature of the club. Like Vines to Wines, The Scuba Club hopes to fix the broken regulations and get the hold removed as soon as possible.
We have a special guest visiting us on campus this week. CPTV's Joseph Corral sat down with Cal Poly alumni Michaela O'Connor Abrams, president of Dwell Media.
Dwell Media is a 12-year-old company, and we changed the name to Dwell Media 3 years ago because we had always had the business plan to focus on the community that we served. While the magazine will always be the trophy of the brand, we have built 9 other platforms.
Is there any advice you would give journalism students who may feel stuck in their concentration?
Yes.
Any advice to help them branch out and not be afraid to?
Yeah. So one of the most important things in this journalism major is your ability to spread your wings with those elective units. Taking business courses and psychology courses and graphic communications and making sure that you are really well-rounded.
For journalists, how important is the aspect of design for them to use in news writing and broadcast and public relations, advertising?
It is, without a doubt, one of the most significant movements in this country in the last decade plus. And the design of the information. Don't forget that the idea that a journalist is relegated to the computer and the screen or a print version of that is pretty old school. So it's really understanding, again, how to think in 2 different ways. How to think about how to passionately bring somebody to your opinion, but also how to passionately tell a story with your opinion out of it. And then...
Great to see you visit campus. As part of your Love Your Body Awareness Day, a wellness fair occurred Wednesday in the UU Plaza. The fair did not define health and wellness by one component of the human body, but as mental, emotional, sexual, and physical health. The Gender Equity Center and SAFER were there promoting events such as Run to Remember, Movember, and Let's Talk About Sex. These events all relate to wellness of both women and men. Resources from the community were also present, such as the center.
And I think there are a lot of different ways that we keep our bodies healthy, and reproductive health is a really big one. Having healthy relationships, being able to communicate in a healthy way, getting tested for STIs and treated if someone has them, and just being really in control of one's own reproductive health, I think is huge.
In addition to the center, gyms such as Budo Ryu and Equilibrium Fitness were there to promote physical health.
You may have noticed the utility boxes in San Luis Obispo, and lately the city is working to change that. The city of San Luis Obispo has contracted 16 artists to paint some of the city's electrical boxes with 16 original creations. The effort, titled Box Art, is sponsored by the city's Parks and Recreation Department.
The area and cover the utility boxes with something interesting and bring art to the public. And another thing that it does is deters graffiti.
The boxes are covered with a special varnish that makes future graffiti removal much easier. Rushing's design is a group of barn owls, and the city wanted the art to reflect the local culture, and barn owls are extremely common on the Central Coast. If you're an artist and want to showcase your talent on some of the city's public features, you can log on to the Parks and Recreation website at slowcity.org/Parks and Recreation.
Well, it's good to see the city getting a little spruce up. Well, coming up next on CPTV, ASI hosts Cal Poly Creates Tonight in the Rec.
And alternative fuel cars cruised through Farmers Market last night.
And CPTV looks into seismic testing at Diablo Canyon and its effects on marine life.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Mark! Anna! Hey, we got your lunch.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Gosh, Darlene, it sure is amazing how much we have in common.
I know, Larry. We both love three-car pileups. We both were built in Buffalo.
And we both know wearing safety belts helps save thousands of lives.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
Don't mind Vince. He's getting over a bad breakup.
I know. Janet's picking up the pieces, too. They're in here.
I wish they understood it's all worth it to get people to buckle up.
Hey, lacerated lovebirds, I sense a major crush.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Talk about head over heels.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to CPTV.
Looks like we have Kelly McDonald here to tell us about our weather this week. How's it going this week, Kelly?
Well, as you know, last week was a warm one, but it will definitely start cooling off. Here's the headlines. So the lowest temperature this week will be 49 degrees, and that will be occurring on Sunday. We'll have patchy fog and also a chance of rain this week. Now let's take a look at our weather shot. So here is beautiful Morro Bay, and as you know, Morro Bay is usually fogged in most of the time, but you can see that it was gorgeous, completely sunny and totally warm. Let's look at our 5-day forecast. So today was a nice one, but it'll definitely be cooling off this evening, and you can see the fog that we will be having, and then you can see on Sunday, we'll have 49 degrees, and that's when the rain will start kicking in, and we'll have a chance of rain all throughout the week. Well, that's your weather, and thanks, guys.
Well, I have to tell you, that weather shot in Morro Bay, simply incredible. Even though it's been really hot, we've had some beautiful days this week.
Yeah, even though we've had some hot weather lately, I'm really looking forward to the projected cooler weather that's coming up this next week.
Well, let me tell you about Morro Bay. You know, you're out there doing a story. You can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I spent the whole day at Morro Bay with some biologists who they're catching and tagging sea otters to see how the seismic testing will affect them. As you guys know, this is a big controversy because people want to know, is this seismic testing affecting the marine life? And that's what their results will show, whether or not it is affecting them.
Biologists from all over are catching and tagging sea otters along the Central Coast. The biologists have been doing a long-term study on these marine mammals because they are a threatened species. But their short-term goal is to know how the seismic testing might affect the otters.
It could translate into a longer-term effect, but we don't know, and that's why we're doing the studies, to find out if that is indeed happening, and if it is, to let the agency know and to publish that information.
All the information gained from this study will be given to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is currently working on an agreement with PG&E that will possibly stop the seismic testing if it does end up affecting the marine life. Some of the biologists involved in the otter tagging are from the California Department of Fish and Game, NOAA, and the Marine Mammal Center. They have been working since October 2nd and plan to continue until October 19th.
And I always enjoy doing it. It's always fun. We learn new things each year in different places.
The way they are catching the otters is by taking boats out to the kelp beds where the otters live. They then send down divers who approach the otters from underneath with a net. After catching them, they transfer them back to the lab on shore. While on shore, they put the otters to sleep, take samples, tag their flippers, and implant trackers into their abdomens. This process takes about an hour. When finished, they give the otter a wake-up drug, and they release it back to the spot where they found it.
Regardless of the project, it's all about just making sure the animals are safe and healthy while we're working with them.
In Morro Bay, CPTV, Kelly McDonald.
For more information on the otter tagging, contact the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
A carnival-like service event on campus will include giant inflatables, a zorbing ball, bungee cord races, and kayak races in the pool. ASI will host Cal Poly Craze from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday night in the Recreation Center. In addition to students, ASI hopes to see the local community at Cal Poly Craze too.
ASI is hosting Cal Poly Craze not only for the students but also for the community, and so just to kind of get
the community involved, not only with Cal Poly, but just so the students, like I said, have a be fun event besides other activities that they could do on Friday night.
ASI is able to host Cal Poly Craze because of funding from ASI student fees. There will be free pizza from Woodstocks and Chow, as well as hot dogs, a novelty ice cream bar, cotton candy, and popcorn. So if you're a Cal Poly student, remember to bring your Poly card to get in free. And if not, non-Cal Poly students must attend Craze with a Cal Poly student ID, and rather a non-Cal Poly student ID, and pay $5. Slow residents...
San Luis Obispo, sorry about that, Trent. San Luis Obispo residents got a look at some alternative fuel cars this week at Farmers Market.
From the outside, this may look like a regular car, but what powers it is truly unique. That's because the Farmers Market hosted a green car show this week organized by the Central Coast Clean Cities Coalition in honor of National Alternative Fuel Vehicle Odyssey Day. Members of the coalition brought their cars to Higuera Street to show off their modified vehicles.
Well, I have a plug-in hybrid, a Prius, 2009 Prius that was converted to plug-in hybrid, meaning it can get about 20 to 25 miles on a full electric charge.
Among those that attended the event was Cal Poly mechanical engineer student Carlos Guzman, who along with other students modified the go-kart to run on electricity.
It's pure electric. It runs 2 independent motors that are 50 horsepower each, and they each drive the wheel independently, so there's no connection between the 2 rear wheels.
Some of the most distinctive vehicles featured at the event was a car that gets 100 miles per gallon and a motorcycle that runs on methanol.
Probably doesn't help much, but I'm the one guy that drives by the gas pumps when the price goes up and I say, yes.
CPTV, Armando Garcia.
Central Coast Clean Cities Coalition for more information about alternative fuel vehicles. Well, coming up next on CPTV, we will take a look into the undefeated football team here at Cal Poly.
And we'll see who our women's soccer program takes on this weekend as they continue their undefeated season.
And find out who is the athlete of the week this week.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, bubble ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, sparkles next Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day.
Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday. Whole grains Wednesday, try a veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday.
Eat well and move a lot.
Today is Saturday. Yeah. Today is Saturday.
All the healthy children, all the healthy children. Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to CPTV. Joining us in the studio today is Ariel Plavnik to give us our weekly sports update.
Hi guys, it's going to be a really exciting week in Cal Poly athletics this week. Let's take a look. The Cal Poly football team is currently undefeated with a 6-0 record for the first time in 8 years. The Mustangs are ranked #1 in the GPI polls. The Mustangs will take on the Portland State Vikings for the first homecoming game this Saturday night with a 6 p.m. kickoff at Spano Stadium. Head coach Tim Walsh will be coaching against his former team for the first time since he left the program in 2006. Walsh coached the Vikings for 13 years. The game will be televised on KSBY TV and broadcasted live on ESPN Radio. One of the most competitive soccer rivalries in the nation returns to UC Santa Barbara's Harder Stadium tonight at 8 p.m. Cal Poly's last win against Santa Barbara was a 2-1 home game this time last year. The Mustangs and the Gauchos, who are ranked 18th in the nation, are tied for 3rd place in the Big West Conference North Division standings. The game will be nationally televised on the Fox Soccer Channel. The rivalry moves back to Cal Poly for the last game of the regular season on November 3rd. The Cal Poly women's soccer team nears the playoffs undefeated after matches against both Cal State Northridge and University of Hawaii last weekend. Player number 12, Bianca Burright, scored 2 goals against Hawaii during her first game back after recovering from double hip surgery in the offseason. The weekend women's soccer team heads into 2 conference road games against UC Riverside and Cal State Fullerton. They play against UC Riverside tonight at 7 p.m. and Cal State Fullerton on Sunday at 1. The men's tennis team had great results at the UCSB Classic last weekend, with wins in Flight A doubles and Flight C singles. The tennis team's next tournament started on October 18th and goes through the 21st at the Intercollegiate Tennis Association West Championship at Irvine. Over 8,000 student athletes will be competing at the ITA Regional Championships this weekend. Your athlete of the week is freshman cross-country runner Laura Hollander. Hollander receives this award after winning the Wisconsin Adidas Invitational last weekend. Hollander is 3 for 3 in races this year, winning the PAC 12 Preview and the UCSB Lagoon Open earlier this season.
For all the different sports, and so it's like a really big honor, and it's been really exciting. Putting in a lot of training and really trying hard at every practice to Wisconsin, and it's almost like a little mini pre-nationals. I ended up winning it.
Hollander set a new course time for the 6,000-meter race with a time of 19 minutes and 33 seconds. Cal Poly will compete in the Big West Conference Championships on October 27th at UC Riverside.
Well, it's good to see, cross country get some spotlight for once. I feel like they never get any love.
I know, it's pretty exciting that they get to do that and be like big champions at this time of year.
Awesome. Well, thanks for a great report. Ariel is new here, and she did a good job for her first time.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next on CPTV, find out who will be rocking Avila Beach tonight.
And find out why green and gold took over the UU Plaza yesterday.
And how the Air Force portrays the feeling of flight through song.
I look up to a lot of the older heads, the innovators, the heads of the art movements of the past. They kept it really edgy, and like a lot of the Latin American muralists and Latin American artists, and their styles were very unique and new to their time. Somewhat controversial, but that's who I look up to mainly. Personally, I'm very excited about going to college. It's something new and it's something different than what I'm used to. I'm definitely going to be a little out of my element, but that's what makes it so exciting, is that, it's something fresh. Well, there's so many opportunities that I think I could miss out on if I didn't go, Getting into college takes planning and vision. It's just like when I take a brick wall and turn it into a canvas for my art. Paintings help me realize that I've got what it takes.
Welcome back to CPTV. We have Armando Garcia in the studio with you to bring you this week's Polywood Minute.
So what's going on this week, Armando?
Well, guys, Cal Poly students and faculty geared up for homecoming weekend with a rally during UU Hour yesterday. The rally music was provided by the Cal Poly Marching Band, and the dance and cheer squads partnered up with Must-See to rile up students for the homecoming football game this Saturday. Student athletes and coaches spoke about how important it is to have support during games and encourage everyone to come out and watch Cal Poly as they take on Portland State at 6 p.m. this Saturday. Freeform electronic musician Bass Nectar is performing at Avila Beach Golf Resort tonight. Based out of Santa Cruz, Bass Nectar is known for his impressive light shows during live performances. He will also be donating $1 to charity for each person that attends the concert tonight. This concert will be the last concert at Avila Beach until next spring. Slow Safe Rides will be offering rides to and from the event. Visit the Avila Beach Concert Facebook page to buy tickets and for more information. Last night, Cal Poly had a chance to see what really happened during the trial that ruled a ban on same-sex marriage unconstitutional. When Proposition 8, a proposed ban on same-sex marriage, was turned down in the California Supreme Court, media was not allowed in the courtroom. Playwright Dustin Black was upset that the courts refused to release video from the trial and took matters into his own hands, using public transcripts from the trial and personal interviews with people present. Black was able to piece together an almost verbatim script of what transpired in the courtroom. The show was a one-time performance at Cal Poly.
Well, thanks for that, Armando. That was great Poly. We didn't get the chance to go to it, but the Air Force Band came to Cal Poly today, and it was great to see them. And we look forward to having you back in another week. Thank you.
Yeah, the concert looks fantastic this weekend, and that's it for CPTV. Be sure to tune in next week, and you can find our broadcasts on Charter Channel 2 and Channel 19.
Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend and a great week, Cal Poly.